Coming up on the Q30 Newscast, Hamden honors Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we have the latest changes on the FASFA application.
And now Quinnipiac is recognizing Hispanic Heritage Month.
Plus, a look at news across the nation.
All that and more on the Q30 Newscast.
Welcome back to another episode of Q30's Newscast. I'm Emily Sweeney, and alongside me is Samantha Shaw. Now, Sam, I heard it's your first time on desk. Are you excited?
Yes, it is my first time, and I'm super excited for this amazing opportunity. So how about we get started?
Yes, you're going to be great. Let's get right into it. Hamden Public Schools have been struggling to work towards desegregating their schools. In 2019, a report was released that classified 3 elementary schools as racially imbalanced. Because of this, Hamden School District is required by state law to remap its school district to work towards more integration of schools. Back in 2018, the school district planned to close Church Street and Shepherd Glen, but families said it would change the inequities in the community. All of this is due to a state-mandated formula for schools to have balanced ratios of minority groups. Superintendent of Hamden Public Schools, Gary Highsmith, said that parents have expressed their thoughts on the integration of schools, saying, quote, "No, we like the school in our neighborhood. We don't want our kids shipped across town."
Hamden School District is not the only district dealing with this issue. Highsmith said there's racially imbalance in the school district, but considers the changes to be pointless. The superintendent thinks that it is time to look deeper into what the state of Connecticut is defining to be racially imbalanced, saying, quote, "The plan has the potential to challenge some thinking in this town that's been in place for a long time. I think you'll have some people from communities of color who are concerned about the fact that their kids may or may not be going to schools in their neighborhood."
Congress implemented changes to FASFA in a simplification act in 2020, and the final changes made will reflect in the upcoming 2024-2025 academic year that will ensure that new and returning students have access to expanded eligibility to federal aid, reduced barriers for certain populations, and a more streamlined application experience. Some of the changes implemented in 2024 will include a direct data exchange with the IRS to import federal tax information, which will save families time throughout the application process. The form will have almost half of the questions as it currently does, and the federal Pell Grant will be expanded to more students, as well as link eligibility to family size and federal poverty level. Approximately 930,000 additional Pell Grants will be awarded. This will all come into play for the next award year, which will be the 2024-2025 academic year. This fall, the university is offering flu clinics for students, faculty, and staff at all 3 of their campuses. The North Haven campus will host a clinic on Thursday, September 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in room MNH 105. The Mount Carmel campus will host clinics on October 19th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and on October 27th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in room SC 119. And the York Hill campus will host a clinic on October 26th from 9 a.m. to noon at their Student Health Center in Rocky Top.
Quinnipiac hosted their 5th annual ethics event where industry professionals expressed how ethics are a necessity in the workplace. It consisted of a panel describing how communication is key to fostering a professional and ethical environment. The panel also highlighted communication professionals and specifically covered ethics and public relations. Quinnipiac student ambassadors were there as well to help with the presentation.
As a communicator, what you're trying to do is protect and enhance the credibility of the organization that you're serving. And if you don't do that in an ethical way, it's really just a matter of time before you're ineffective.
The annual kickoff event for local breast cancer awareness group Paint Hamden Pink was held today at Town Center Park's Garden for Hope and Reflection. And here with an inside look is Q30's Sydney Weimer.
Starting this week, Hamden is decorated with pink in honor of breast cancer awareness. Each year since 2016, a small committee made up of Hamden locals have hosted an event called Paint Hamden Pink, in which supporters gather to commemorate those who have been impacted by the disease. Hamden resident Nancy Giuliano began the Paint Hamden Pink fundraiser in order to collect donations for breast cancer research. Today, the kickoff event was hosted by the fundraisers committee at Hamden Town Center Park, where visitors dressed in pink came to help spread the message of breast cancer awareness to the public. Member of the charities committee, Janice Panagrossi, spoke on behalf of Giuliano and shared the history behind Paint Hamden Pink.
Nancy Giuliano was the founder of our organization. It started as a kitchen table idea with she and her husband. She had been working with Making Strides Against Breast Cancer and thought if she brought it locally to Hamden, it would have more of a meaning for everybody.
Paint Hamden Pink has now been around for 7 years, and in partnership with the American Cancer Society has raised $40,000 for breast cancer research. Panagrossi explained how the foundation no longer asks for donations, but rather local support through participation in awareness events.
It's really manning tables at this point at fairs that might be happening at Margaret O'Keefe Center. We helped with getting the van that does the mammograms, come in there and people were able to sign up for that. So that's really where our support is right now.
The sense of community is widespread, as buildings in Hamden are also decked out in pink decorations to celebrate breast cancer awareness. In honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month coming this October, Sydney Weimer, Q30 News.
Quinnipiac University has partnered with Stellic, a degree management program, in order to better track degree progress amongst the wide varieties of programs offered at the university. Moving forward, students will navigate all elements of degree progression through this new modern digital experience that is supposed to make the process more clear-cut and simple for students to view and plan their degree up until the day they graduate.
Quinnipiac is still on the lookout for a new chaplain and director of religious life. In the meantime, university is working to accommodate students who still wish to attend Mass on campus. QCC reached out to St. Paul Parish in Hamden for help. The parish responded by sending 2 priests to Quinnipiac every week to hold Mass on campus in its regular place in CAS 2. Q30 spoke to Drew Barbieri, the executive officer for QCC, who has more details on what Quinnipiac is doing to help.
We're back here at CAS 2, 4 o'clock as normal. It's going to be 4 to 5. However, instead of having a chaplain, we have 2 priests rotating on and off from the St. Paul Parish, which is like the parish of like all the churches in Hamden, St. Rita's, Our Lady of Mount Carmel, and all the other ones. And they're all coming in. They're going to take turns rotating on and off Masses every Sunday.
Now, unfortunately, Sam and I have to take our first break of the night, but there is still so much news to cover. Coming up, we have a new minor beginning at Quinnipiac and a new free subscription for students. But Sam, before we go, I'm really curious to see if all of this rain is going to go away.
I am too. It's been a tough week with it all. So why don't we go to Clever Stritch to get a 3-day update to see what's ahead of us. Clever, what do you have coming up in the forecast?
Thank you, guys. It is time for a 3-day weather look ahead here on Q30 News. It is a beautiful sunny day today with a high of 68 and a low of 44. Tomorrow it's going to look pretty much the same, a high of 69 and a low of 44, partly sunny, and then on Friday it might rain with a high of 64 and a low of 53. That's your 3-day weather look ahead. We'll be right back after this on Q30 News.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back. The Arnold Bernard Library will be hosting ABL Day on September 27th. Modeled as an open house, students and faculty will be able to better explore the library services as well as meet the staff while participating in trivia, arts and crafts, scavenger hunts, tours of the library, and much more. It will be held between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m., following a fixed format to adhere to the 50-minute class increments. The library will also feature a banned book exhibit as well as an archival exhibit highlighting the class of 1973. Voting and registration will also be available on that day.
We just really want to make sure that the students know how welcome they are to come. This is their library. This is a resource for them. We want them to all feel comfortable here, and we want them to know what is available to them here.
Quinnipiac is offering a new minor in the School of Arts and Sciences. This new minor will be forensic science, and it will include classes such as forensic science, forensic anthropology, and forensic psychology. And this course will be 18 credits for the minor. Director of Anthropology Jamie Eulinger told us more.
Mostly already exist on campus, and putting them together in a way that should be interesting to people, to students who are really interested in how do we kind of build an argument, right? How do you take scientific evidence, kind of look at it, and begin to make some kind of assessment that might be used in a criminal setting, in a legal setting, in a medical setting.
Quinnipiac professors will be holding information sessions on the new Hispanic and Latin American Studies major, as well as addressing the importance of Hispanic Heritage Month. Here with more is Q30's Joe Monty.
As of September 15th, it's officially Hispanic Heritage Month, and Quinnipiac is rolling out a new major related to the subject. The major is called Hispanic and Latin American Studies. It gives students the opportunity to major in an important part of American and South American culture.
Well, it's important because it covers the essential aspects of what it is to be Hispanic.
Students had the opportunity to attend 2 information sessions on Wednesday the 27th to learn about the major. This course replaces its predecessor and has several new benefits for members of Quinnipiac who are interested in learning about Latin America.
We're making it more efficient for students to be able to double major if they want. We still are preserving the full coverage of the Spanish language up to advanced level, but we're giving students more flexibility in terms of literature and cultural studies and many more electives that can fit into the major.
Faculty at Quinnipiac worked on constructing this new major for over a year, and its release date is surprisingly coincidental. Being that it's Hispanic Heritage Month, students and faculty alike are looking forward to having this major available at the university.
I think including a Latin American Studies major and minor opportunities are really important. I hope that the university is encouraged to bring on more diverse faculty and diverse academics and research interests for students.
Students say they are also looking forward to celebrating their family and their heritage. Celebrations are scheduled to take place on the main campus in the courtyard.
We've been celebrating all month long, so we have an event once a week, every single week. Friday, the 29th, we're having our cookout. So it's sort of like a lunch for all of our students, filled with our favorite cultural foods and just some giveaways for our students from some Latinx-owned businesses. So we're trying to support where we buy and purchase from, as well as supporting our students on campus.
Celebrations will take place every Thursday until October 13th. Reporting from Quinnipiac for Q30 News, I'm Joe Monty.
The town of New Haven will host the inaugural Greater New Haven Italian American Heritage Festival this year. The committee transitioned the annual parade to a festival this year to allow for greater participation in the event. The festival will include onstage acts and performances, a car show, food trucks, music, touch a truck, kids activities, and family fun. And it will take place on Saturday, October 7th from noon to 6 p.m.
Quinnipiac students and faculty now have complimentary access to the New York Times. Due to a partnership between the Lynn L. Pantalina Law and the Arnold Bernard Libraries, Quinnipiac accounts with valid email addresses can now register for the resource both online and on the New York Times app. It offers the full extent of the subscription access, including podcasts, videos, news, as well as article comments.
You know, having access to news that's verified, news that comes from trained reporters means a lot. It makes it a lot easier for students who aren't used to paying for news and information to have access to that.
Now, Sam, I have to say, this subscription would have been extremely useful for me over my years here. It's definitely helping me out now. Wish I had it a little earlier, though.
But it's time to get to some of the week's politic news, and for that, we will go to Jackie Adrova. Jackie?
Thank you, Sam and Emily. A lot has happened in politics this week. Last week, Bob Menendez, Democratic Senator of New Jersey, was indicted on bribery charges. A search of Menendez's residence found he was in possession of gold bars, $500,000 in cash, and other valuable items estimated to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes. In the wake of the indictment, Menendez believes he will be exonerated. On Monday, he spoke to the media defending the bribes, claiming that the money found was for emergencies due to his family's history of confiscation in Cuba. Menendez's defense comes after Democratic Senators Sherrod Brown of Ohio, Peter Welch of Vermont, and John Fetterman of Pennsylvania have called for his resignation. After announcing his bid for the upcoming 2024 election, former President Donald Trump will be traveling across the United States campaigning while his rivals debate at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in Simi Valley, California. Trump started his campaigning in South Carolina on Monday before heading to Michigan today, where he spoke to union workers. He will then head to California on Friday to speak at the GOP's Fall Convention in Anaheim. By the end of the week, Trump will head to Ottumwa, Iowa, where he will deliver remarks focused on agriculture and policy, according to sources. Lastly, on Monday, the House Oversight Committee announced the witnesses for the first panel hearing this week in the impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. Starting Thursday, the impeachment inquiry will look into the constitutional and legal questions Republicans are raising about the president. The witnesses in the inquiry are as follows: Bruce Dubinsky, an expert witness in forensic accounting, Eileen O'Connor, former Assistant Attorney General in the Department of Justice Tax Division, and Jonathan Turley, a professor at George Washington Law School. The panel is also ready to subpoena President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, as well as his brother, James Biden. That's all I have for politics tonight. I'm Jackie Drovo. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jackie. Now it's time for our second break of the night, but when we return, we still have a lot of news to get to.
Yes, Sam, we'll have a more in-depth look at the weather to find out if we can really put those umbrellas away for the whole weekend, and we'll have a sports update from Eli Ehlers. All that and more coming up after this short commercial break.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihavepreddiabetes.org.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Jules, spot me on this last one. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Now, Sam, I'm very interested to see what this weather's looking like for the rest of the week. Hoping for some relief from all the rain, some warm weather.
No, absolutely. Hoping for some sun, maybe just a couple more warm days before it starts getting really cold. But why don't we go back to Clever for a full 7-day forecast? Clever?
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Emily. I'm back with our full weather forecast. We have a beautiful sunny day both today and tomorrow. It's going to be partly sunny tomorrow with a high of 69, low of 44, and then it's overcast all weekend long. So be sure to bring out the jackets, but not for long. There's a bit more sunny weather coming and some hotter ones too. Highs of 75, 76, 79 later in the week as the next week begins. Let's take a look at tomorrow's temperatures around the state of Connecticut. In New Haven, it's a high of 69, a low of 47. Down in Stamford, it's 66, low of 58. Up in Danbury, 67 and a low of 46. Torrington has a high of 66, low of 44. Hartford, the capital of Connecticut, has a high of 70, so that's kind of beautiful. And then you have Norwich at 70, New London down here at 69. So that is going to do it for our weather forecast for this week. Let's send things back to the desk.
It is National Hazing Prevention Week, and Quinnipiac has been holding events to spread awareness and education for the cause. There was National Hazing Prevention Week tabling on Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the Carl Hansen Student Center, where people handed out Whitney donuts and educated students on hazing prevention as a part of the These Hands Do Not Haze event. There's also a National Hazing Prevention Week candlelight vigil happening right now, and will go until 10 p.m. outside on the Eklund Tater Hall lawn. This is a come-and-go event where they are honoring victims of hazing on college campuses and educating students on the topic.
Quinnipiac will host an insider trading symposium, Texas Gulf Sulphur at 55, on September 29th at the School of Law Center on the North Haven campus. The symposium will include a panel of national experts who will cover the first court case about insider trading and its lasting impacts 55 years after the decision in 1968. The event will take place from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. and it is open to the public for free, both online and in person.
Now it's time to get into some national news, and for that we will go to Geneva Cunningham. Geneva, I hear you have some news on the Writers Guild strike and illegal border crossing being at an all-time high right now.
Thanks, guys. Let's get started. We are seeing an influx of migrant families crossing the Rio Grande Valley in South Texas. In August, immigration authorities arrested more than 90,000 people. Despite the surge in border crossings, President Biden has decided to terminate family detention centers. New measures include ankle monitors and curfews for migrant families as they are placed in a program called Family Expedited Removal Management. This is expected to speed up immigration proceedings for migrant families. Lena Khan, the chairwoman of the Federal Trade Commission, along with 17 states, are suing Amazon for allegedly using third-party sellers to unfairly promote its own platform. The FTC found fault with how Amazon forces sellers to list products at uncompetitively low prices, and that Amazon requires sellers to purchase Amazon Prime eligibility. The court for the Western District of Washington filed the suit on Tuesday, September 26th. After 146 days, the Hollywood writers' strike comes to a close. On Sunday, September 24th, the Writers Guild of America and Hollywood's top media companies reached an agreement. Writers and actors voiced demands, including higher base compensation, a bigger cut of project royalties, and stricter protections against the use of artificial intelligence. After a long period of financial hardships and protests, the industry prepares to resume with entertainment. That's all I have for national news. Back to Emily and Sam at the desk.
Staying national, let's head over to Hollywood with Q30's Julia Barcello and see what happened over the weekend. Julia?
Thanks, guys. A lot is happening in Hollywood, so let's get right into it. Renowned celebrity and member of the Real Housewives of Orange County, Shannon Beater, is facing legal trouble after being arrested last weekend for being involved in a hit and run while driving under the influence. Beater reportedly attempted to make a fast turn in a Los Angeles residential neighborhood, crashing into the front of an apartment complex with her dog in the vehicle. She quickly fled the scene and called 911. Beater lied, saying she witnessed the crash while taking a late-night walk with her dog. Unfortunately, Beater's story did not hold up, and she was taken into custody with 2 misdemeanor charges. Sources close to Beater relieved that she plans to start rehabilitation for her alcoholism, stating, quote, "Shannon has spent the past several years running from her problems, and she does not realize who she has turned into. Her castmates and her friends have told her that she needs to get help," when this was before the DUI. Staying on the topic of motor accidents, we have some heartbreaking news from over the weekend. Reality TV star Savannah Chrisley mourns over the loss of her ex-fiancé, Nicholas Keedlers, after being involved in a fatal accident. Police stated that Keedlers was riding his motorcycle in a residential area located outside of central Nashville when he ran a stop sign, causing him to collide into the front of an oncoming SUV. He was immediately rushed to the hospital and unfortunately died to his injuries soon after. He was only 29 years old. Chrisley took to social media on Saturday, posting to her story a photo of the two of them holding hands with the caption reading, quote, "Heaven gained the most beautiful angel today, and I miss you and I love you." In lighter news, do you remember the Korean TV drama Squid Game? Well, on Friday, Netflix revealed a trailer showcasing the new reality TV show based off of the production released in 2021. In the original Squid Game, 456 contestants compete against each other in a series of simple children's games. Those who are unsuccessful in beating the games are killed off, and the last person to survive wins $456,000. In the new rendition of the show, the life or death aspect is removed, but the prizes are increased by tenfold. The synopsis reads, quote, 456 players will compete to win $4.56 million in the largest cash prize in reality television history. Through a series of games, each player will be pushed to their limits and forced to ask themselves just how far they'll go to win, with opportunistic alliances, cutthroat strategies, and timely betrayal to follow. As of Friday, Netflix confirmed that subscribers can expect Squid Game, The Challenge, to premiere by Thanksgiving 2023. And that's all I have for this week's Hollywood Update. Back to Sam and Emily at the desk.
Thanks, Julia. Now it's time for our final break of the night, but when we return, we have a lot more to get to, including a new partnership for Quinnipiac that will benefit students and put Bobcat sports on the map.
We also have a recap of some Quinnipiac sports from this past weekend and a new Bee and Tree campus display. Stick with us for more.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What?
I can't drive.
Why?
I'm high.
Oh.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Connecticut's newest television station, The Wax, the sister station of Channel 3 WFSB, announced a new partnership with Quinnipiac University on Monday. The station will begin this partnership by rebroadcasting soccer, volleyball, and other fall sports. It will also eventually expand to include spring sports and so much more. Beyond the realm of athletics, the partnership between Quinnipiac and WFSB will open doors and create opportunities for QU students to have internships as well as more exposure to the real-world professional news landscape. Sam, I think it's time for one of my favorite parts of the Newscast show, and that's when we talk about sports. A lot happened this weekend that we need to catch up on.
Yes, no, definitely a lot of exciting things. But here we have Eli Ehlers to talk about it, and it's time to pass it over to him. What do you have for us, Eli?
Thanks, Emily and Sam. This past weekend, the women's hockey team started their season with an exhibition match against UConn. The team was down 3-1 with 14 minutes left, and then they started to turn the tide. Senior Maddie Samaskevich tied the game, and graduate student Kate Riley scored the overtime winner. The final score was 4-3 in favor of the Bobcats. Zoe Ewens had 2 primary assists and helped set up both the Madison Chandler goals. The team now looks forward to opening their regular season against the University of Maine in a doubleheader at home. Switching from the ice to the court, the volleyball team went on a weekend road trip to face Marist and Siena. On Saturday, they were down 2-0, but the team didn't quit and won 3 consecutive sets. The team took down the Red Foxes 3-2. Ginevra Giovagnoni led the way with 17 kills. On Sunday, the team faced the Siena Saints and took care of business, winning in 4 sets. Damla Ganesh led the way with 41 assists. The team now sits in 4-0 in MAC play and 8-5 overall. They traveled back to New York this weekend to play Iona and Manhattan. Staying with fall sports, the field hockey team had a tough weekend facing Villanova and Yale. On Saturday, they were up 3-0, but then it slipped away. Villanova's Megan Mitchell put up 4 consecutive goals, and the Bobcats couldn't stop it, losing 4-3. On Sunday, the Bobcats started out hot with a goal from Juliana Capello. The Bulldogs responded well, putting in 2 goals, and the Bobcats couldn't come back. The team will have a chance to get back in the win column on Friday at Georgetown. That's all we have for sports this week. Back to Emily and Sam at the desk.
Leaving you on a lighter note tonight, QU students can now visit the Bee and Tree campus display located at the Arnold Bernard Library. Quinnipiac is recognized as a Bee Campus USA affiliate by the Cersei Society for Invertebrate Conservation and a Tree Campus Higher Education by the Arbor Day Foundation. The display features a number of selections donated by the Cersei Society in addition to many titles from the library's existing collection. Students can find books on conservation, pollinators, trees and plants, as well as other educational publications regarding the natural world.
And with that, we are out of time for this week's newscast. To stay up to date with all of the news happening around Quinnipiac's campus and the surrounding areas, follow us on social media at Q30 News and make sure to check out Q30TV.com for more content.
Thank you to all the people behind the scenes that make the show happen. I'm Samantha Shaw.
And I am Emily Sweeney. After a great newscast tonight, we'll say goodbye, Bobcats. Have a great night.